Okay, welcome back to the channel, wonderful people of YouTube. So today we're on a brand new adventure. We're out in the middle of Dartmoor, and for those of you who don't know, Dartmoor is a national park in the southwest of the UK, just near a town called Exeter. And we're test riding a brand new motorcycle from Voge. The Voge is the Chinese brand that manufactures a lot of higher spec bikes, so using higher quality components. And this is the 500DS, and wait for it, DSX. So it's not the 500DS, sort of upgraded version of that bike with more features and function, called the DSX. So a little bit of intro to it. It's in the adventure bike category, definitely the middleweight adventure bike, and it has a bigger brother called the 650DS. It's a single. This is actually a parallel twin, so it's a 471cc parallel twin motor, outputting 46.9 bhp, I think it is, and 31.3 foot-pounds of torque, and the bhp and torque come in at 8,500 rpm and 7,000 rpm respectively. It's got all the usual features, a lot of suspension travel, spoked wheels. It's got sort of touring tyres, I think they're Metzlers. Rather upright riding position, nice and comfy, and you can also equip this bike with 100 litres of aluminium box style panniers for luggage capacity, so that's superb. And even, I'll just use the superlative, but to be even better than that, the first 30 customers who order this bike, they'll pay £5,500 for it, and they'll also get free luggage. And if you're after the first 30, then you're going to pay £500 for the pannier set, but still not a great deal of money, is it? £6,000 for an adventure bike, effectively. So, yeah, I'm out on this bike today, and I'm gonna, wow, look at the scenery. I was just about to say, I'm gonna see some amazing scenery, some sights, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about the bike. Really, for a middleweight adventure bike from one of the Chinese brands? Well, it's kind of the same as the other areas, isn't it? Like even 125s, retro bikes, adventure bikes have a similar problem. Sports bikes definitely have this problem. Prices have been going up and up and up, and the technology to justify those prices has been going up and up and up. And I have a feeling that there's going to be a little bit of a revolution where people want to go back to basics for sort of cheap, fun motoring. I mean, Royal Enfield is a really classic example of that, where these bikes are between £4,000 and £6,000, and you don't have any sort of traction control or IMUs or 20 different engine power modes or G-force meters. You just have you and your right hand which controls the throttle, and that's how you enjoy the sort of spirit of motorcycling. It's definitely the case on sports bikes. You know, I think 2015 was probably the watch out for this bus. 2015 was the last time you could buy an analog super sport, really. Since then they've had all sorts of tech associated with them. And adventure bikes, obviously the market leader is the BMW GS. You're looking about 18 grand without any of the options unknown. But there's also a growing trend for middleweight adventure bikes. So the lower capacity, so you've got your 850s, I think Triumph Tiger do an 800 on 850, the Yamaha Tenere 700, I think it shares the engine with the XSR 700. Honda also do the Africa Twin, they also do the CB 500X as well, but these are all middleweight bikes as well from established manufacturers. I think what we're seeing here is the first of what will be a wave of lower price point options for adventure biking. We all know adventure bikes are sort of the most popular type of the Triumph Street Triple or Speed Triple, can never remember which one. We all know adventure bikes are sort of the growing trend now. Everyone's going for comfort and long distances and luggage options, but there should be an option in the adventure bike lineup for lower entry point, and I think that Voge have come into the market with a great first offering that really ticks that box. So let's talk a little bit about the bike in particular. Well, let's talk power plant first. You can hear a gentle throb underneath me. And we're being propelled along today by a unit called the KE 500, developed by Lonsin itself. And the displacement, power output, bore and stroke, all similar to the unit used in the aforementioned CB 500. So one can assume that Lonsin have taken inspiration from that power plant. And as we know that power plant's reliable, nothing suggests that the KE 500 will be a suitably useful engine for a middleweight adventure bike. And I'll just show you. Let's drop down and we'll just gun it a little bit. Okay, so there's building. See, this is a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a sort of peak coming up to 7, but it's not much. You've got quite a flat torque curve. And see, if I want to drop down and go up this hill, I can fly up this hill on this bike. See? It's no slouch. Whoa! I mean, obviously that's not the kind of riding you really do on a bike in this category, but it will do it. Like, it will be able to propel you, you'll be able to make overtakes and that kind of thing. But let's get settled down into a more relaxing ride. That's what today's about, not about herring about. So what else have we got on here? Well, they've really gone to town on the quality of the components, really, to prove this point. So both on the 500AC and also on the 500DSX, which we're sat on now, we've got KYB front suspension, we've got a KYB rear monoshock, we've got Bosch ABS, Bosch fuel injection system. Brakes are from Nissin, so I've got 4 pots at the front biting the 298mm discs, a pair of them. At the rear I've got a single 240 disc, and it provides adequate stopping power for this type of bike, and also the bike with this power output. So it's superb, really, what you get, and you're still, and I haven't mentioned this yet, but you're still at a price point around the 5,000 to 5,500 mark. What's more, and you know, this is an amazing deal, the first 30 customers to order this bike in the UK, and also its single engined brother, which is the 650DS, get free luggage. And the luggage itself is worth 500 quid, and that's from Voge. But imagine you were to, oh, we keep going up here, imagine you were to order luggage from BMW, and there you see the value difference in the Voge offering versus perhaps one of the more established brands. We've talked about components, let's talk also about technology. So the most obvious thing, which you can see in front of me now, is the TFT display. So it looks like it's, what, 4 or 5 inch TFT. I'll check and I'll put a message on the screen what size the TFT actually is. But it's quite a high spec looking thing. Let's just stop here. And it provides a lot of useful information. Let's just cut across. Such as you've got a gear indicator, which is nice to have. Don't have that on all bikes. Even new bikes don't all have gear indicators. You've also got outdoor temperature sensor, 2 pressure monitors for each of the tyres. There's a fuel gauge, or giving your fuel, but also an average usage, so how many litres per 100 miles we're doing. Rev counter there, and you've also got Bluetooth connectivity. You charge your phone using these USB charger, which is plugged in there, which is really cool. And so you've really, you've got like nice technology on this bike. Really, really nice technology for the price point. Remember, this bike's 5,500 quid. So what else should I tell you about the Voge 500DSX? Well, I've just adjusted the screen, so the screen's obviously adjustable, and I've adjusted it to stop the buffeting coming into my helmet, because I know you guys are very keen to have good audio on here. Okay, so up top I've got obviously nice chunky controls, so I can manipulate with gloves such as these big winter gloves, which is pretty handy. Mirrors, nothing special, they're just plastic wing mirrors, aren't they? But they don't vibrate or anything like that too much. I'm going to drop down because I'm chugging along in 5th, it seems a bit silly. There we go, going to 3rd. Handlebars are sort of nice and comfortable, not too wide. Oh, sorry, couldn't resist that. Handlebars are nice and comfy. Seating position, obviously it's an adventure bike, so designed to do long distances, and I'm finding it supremely comfortable. One weird, strange tip for you is that the 500DSX has actually got a much squishier and softer, more gel-like seat than the 650DSX. But yeah, I'm on the 500, and I can confirm that it's very, very nicely padded. It's got a 19 litre tank here. I'm looking at fuel economy in the high 60s, 70 miles per gallon. So how am I feeling on it? Well, I love the riding position. Knees are very comfortable, my back isn't hurting at all. I've been riding for about an hour and a half now. Oh, that looks cool down there. Have a look down there. Yeah, the tank sort of bows out here with the fairing, and it's nice and comfortable. I feel like I could sort of squeeze it a little bit with my knees. Feels natural, so I like that. Yeah, what's not to like, really? Suspension's really sort of nice and compliant. I haven't pushed on too much. The roads here don't really allow it, but it soaks up bumps and potholes and that kind of thing. Okay, so let's look at the bike itself. So we've got gloss black with gold and red highlights, matching pinstripe on the seat as well, which looks good with the stitching. And yeah, it just looks fantastic. I think this would probably be my favourite colour. They also do a grey and they do a red as well, but by far the black is probably one of the best colour options. So coming around to the front of the bike, you've got this kind of beak style design. Obviously lots of suspension travel, so you've got the gap there. And then you've got LED headlight with looks like 2 reflectors in. It looks quite sharp up front. You know, they've got a combination of different textures. So you've got the matte here, you've got the gloss plastic, and then you've got this I'd say houndstooth effect stamped into the plastic, which also looks nice. Nice front mudguard. I talked about the mudguard on the AC looking a bit plasticky. This looks more premium. I expect it's more angular, it's glossy. There's a combination of the matte and the gloss. Maybe it makes it look a little bit better. We've got these chunky suspension components up front, 41mm forks, I think they are from KYB. They're non-adjustable, but they certainly look the part. And then front wheel is a 19-inch spoked affair. It looks great. Dual 298mm wavy discs up front, and the Nissin dual pot caliper bites into those. Yeah, tyres as standard are the Metzeler Touring Ace, or Tourance, however you say it, which I don't know much about, to be honest, but if I was to buy this bike I'd probably look into different types of touring tyres. There's the lump. I'll come around here just to show you a little bit. It's the KE 500 from Losin itself. It is 471cc, power output of 46.9, so it's A2 compliant, and that power comes in at 8,500 RPM. As you've seen from the ride though, the power seems to be quite linear throughout the rev range. It's not toppy or anything, so it's quite useful power. The torque is 31.3 foot-pounds, that's coming in at 7,000 RPM. Again, it feels quite linear, the torque curve. Got a nice engine cover there, still a bit hot, with the Voge logo and branding embossed into it, which looks great. Chunky foot controls. So just like the AC that we looked at, you had larger and easier to manipulate foot controls. Here they look a little bit more industrial and for the more rugged application, but the same scale applies. And there's the shock in there at the back, monoshock. Some branding here, 500DSX, so they also do a DS. They do also do a 650DSX, slightly bigger capacity, but it is a single. Yeah, this is the luggage rack, and you can take 100 litres of pannier space in aluminium boxes on this bike. Now 500 quid is still quite reasonable for a pannier system for a motorcycle. You know, if you think of the Suzuki GSX 1000 GT, it's £1,000 for 2 panniers, and they're plastic, and you can't fit a helmet in them. So, you know, when you put it next to that, it begins to look very good value indeed. Okay, let's quickly come around to look at what's underneath the seat. So under here you've got a tool kit. I've already used the toolkit today to adjust the screen. Just put that put that passenger seat down there, and then I'll try and lift up the rider seat. You see how neat everything is in there? I'll come around this side to show you. But yeah, it just looks well thought out, doesn't it? Everything's just run nice and neat. Battery's well up out of the way, so you're not going to get any corrosion or anything like that. It's all kind of standard fitment, standard design. Something in there which I don't know what it is, maybe that's user manual, something like that. ECUs tucked up there, and you can see that's Bosch, it says on it. That controls the fuel injection. So you've got that tucked up out of the way of any water or muck or anything. Good design, good placement of components out of harm's way. That is what we like to see. Yeah, the seat is nice and comfy. See, there's a lot of give in the seat, which is really nice. Oh, that's interesting. See here, you've got smooth effect, and then you've got rough there. So again, this combination of textures gives it a more premium feel. Same here. Got your 19-litre tank. Come up to your handlebars. This is what it looks like through the rider's eye view. Let me just turn on the ignition view. You see it springs into life, and then you've got a nice clear display. Yeah, one thing which is probably missing is heated grips. So if you're going to do touring in the UK, you're going to need to invest in some heated grips, aren't you? But other than that, it's quite highly spec'd. And look at the colour. I love the colour options. Anyone who knows me knows I love a black and gold. In fact, my track bike is black and gold. So well done, Voge, for making a bike in my absolute favourite colours. But other than that, guys, I'm just going to pan out so you can see the bike. Oh, one last thing. Centre stand down there. And I actually found it very easy to put it onto the centre stand. Sometimes you're struggling a little bit to put bikes onto centre stands, but you can just grab hold of this with one hand, kick down, and it seems to go quite nicely onto it. Right, well, with that, guys, I'm going to get back on two wheels, so I'll see you in the next bit of the video. Okay, so we've had our fun on-road. Let's test the bike a little bit off-road, shall we? Some light off-road work. Could be good fun. Ooh. That's it. Wants to follow the rut a little bit. You know, it's doing well. This. You're really good at this, isn't it? Ooh. Right, I'll stick to the black stuff now on, I think. It's so satisfying. You forget how great a parallel twin is. You forget there's a slight satisfaction to just lump of torque exactly when you want it. Check for this gravel. Oh guys, I'm having such a nice day today. It's just, how could you not enjoy this? You know, the sun's shining, it's beautifully warm. My temperature gauge is showing 19 degrees. You know, I've got my nice riding gear on. I could almost have summer gloves. And I'm riding an adventure bike. I mean, look at the view up here. Wow. So, yeah, my trusty steed for today is Voge 500DSX. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Really, really enjoying the experience. So good on them, you know, got a happy rider here. So guys, that's my final thoughts on the bike. If you want to check out the engine noise, there it is. No, but I was going to say, if you want to like the video, please do. It would really help with the YouTube algorithm, and also please consider subscribing to the channel so we can grow over time. But if not, guys, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day out in Dartmoor, and enjoy this bike. Wonderful black and gold Voge 500DSX, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers team, ride safe.